Hello, people. That was so over the top. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Soul Sessions with Sarah LaSoul. Sorry, I'm shouting. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Soul Sessions with Sarah LaSoul. Now, hello.
I'm going to keep all this shit in me.
Please
keep it
don't.
all.
Edit it. So today, people, how you doing? We're all a little bit tired again. It's Sunday, but we just got to keep this moving. And today we have with us Drama Damarni, our person of interest. Woo! Say hello.
Hello.
And in the room, I'll just let you know, we got Stephen on sound and everything.
Usual.
And we got Ada Nico with us again today.
Who doesn't have a microphone?
So we got, 4/5 of the collective session team. Wow, I did not get my maths GCSE. We have
It'll do. It's fine.
most of the collective sessions team in the room, and we're going to be having another chat with peoples today, and also finding out a little bit more about Drama Damarni and what he's doing with his Karma Dramatics and just what he does in his everyday life. Psych.
None of that.
We don't want to be delving into your tea and toast in the morning. But yeah, we're just going to be having a good chat with him. Like I said, we've recovered from the launch. We've been keeping things moving. We're going to be shooting some videos in the near future. We've got some really cool stuff with regards to Collective Sessions fashion event coming up, which will keep you updated on the Facebook page. And if you just keep looking out on Instagram and things like that, you'll be able to see what we're doing and keep updated. So without further ado, hey Drama.
Hello.
Drama is my brother from another mother. And
I was going to say, you can't say that. You already said about that one. You know.
but he has got the same
I know
mum.
you're biologically, but come on, let's just carry on with the brothers.
Brother's got
She's got about 30.
Brother from an adoptive mother.
yeah, and he is also involved in a lot of the music stuff that we do on stage. He plays the cajon.
I also play pencils on the table.
Yeah, we did start from there. We started from the pencils on the table in school. So we've been doing this music thing for quite a long time. Just basically naturally, just who we are. And obviously now we're getting the opportunity to do it on stages, and it's kind of an organic family thing that's grown now. But yeah, he does a lot of creative things. He's a creative director. He does a lot of videography, editing, anything behind the camera and at the side of the camera, in front of the camera. This is your guy. He's got a super, super creative mind. Some of the ideas and the scripts that I've heard him write and speak about are
Don't you make him a head swell?
I can see it going.
Yeah, you can tell
It's already big.
I'm a massive fan of what he's going to be producing and what he has produced in the past. And we're going to get a little bit more information out of him. We're going to squeeze him up.
Yes, feel free to ask him.
So, hey, Drama, do you want to just give us a little intro about what you do and where you come from, and creatively, just let us know what you're about.
Start talking about the ends.
Yeah, well, from my end. I'm from Huddersfield, obviously born and raised. Based originally in Dalton, but I've moved and lived all around Huddersfield, so I've seen quite a lot of different types of people. I know quite a lot of different types of people. And that's, I think, inspired me in the work I want to do in the creative sector. Now, my main passion is acting, directing, anything creative, really. I love my visuals. My main focus of what I want to do, I don't just want to make short films or long films what are just entertaining. I want educational entertainment. That's my main focus. So I want to educate people using films, using these short videos, just to get through to people how they would not normally get. How do I say it? People sometimes struggle to take knowledge in. For one, I'm not a person who can read a book. I can read a book for hours and hours, and that knowledge I'll probably take in about 10%. Mm-hmm. Now, I watch a film version of that same knowledge, and I will take in every single bit of information. So if I'm like that, surely there's other people like that. So hopefully throughout my films, I can touch in on some current issues from race, gender, sexuality, bullying, violence, street crime, absolutely anything what's an issue all over the world. And what I want to do is translate that knowledge, what could be given to people, which is misguided information in schools and stuff like that. I think this is another platform of education what I think society is missing out on. I mean, there is some educational films, one that I'll mention, things like V for Vendetta. revolutionary films like that. These are the kind of films what inspire me to want to teach using film. Now, hopefully, I'm in the midst of setting up my own business, which is Drama Dramatics, which is a non-profitable organisation. Sorry, that was a bit of a tongue twister. And what Drama Dramatics does, it's very similar to Collective Sessions. It brings in a group of creative writers, directors, videographers, actors, dancers, anyone who's involved in the more performance art, and by bringing everybody together we can bounce off each other's scripts, we can work on each other's projects and give each other a platform to actually act, direct and do all the things that you're talented in, because there's a lot of creative people but there's not actually anything for them to be creative in. There is no platform, there's nothing for them to actually use their skills on. So hopefully Drama Dramatics will do that by giving them a reason to be creative.
Brilliant. So if people want to get involved in Drama Dramatics, how do they go about like getting in touch with you, and what avenues can they get involved in Drama Dramatics?
Well, for one, I know quite a lot of people, so if you don't know me personally, I'm sure there will be somebody that knows me. So either follow me on Facebook, add me on Facebook. My name's Drama Damarni Simpson. I'm also on Instagram, which is Drams1988. If you contact me on any social media, I'll give anybody the time of day. Whether you've got a short script, whether you're an actor, whether you just literally love the film industry yourself and you've got a lot of knowledge for it, or even if you want to learn more knowledge about the industry, get in contact via any social media. Get involved via Collective Sessions, Sarah, Aidan, anybody who may know me. Contact them, get them to send me a message, and I'll get back to anybody and everyone who wants to get involved.
Amazing. Right, I don't want to jump in, but we have to. There's something going on in the room, right?
Right, Lawrence is outside the door. He needs my key.
Okay, let's just sort that.
He should be outside the door.
There was a bit of distraction going on. There's a bit of disturbance going on. I know you can't see what's going on, but this is real. This is real life. Like, this is what happens, and we have things going on that we cannot control in the universe.
No, it's just
and we
he
just
needs
have
my
to
key
deal
to get into my house because he's a little bitch.
It's life.
So yeah. Basically, you've obviously given us the avenues of how we can get involved. You're in the Collective Sessions team as part of the creative director and performance director. Like we said at the previous show, this is an organic team and organic projects that we're growing. So we're all kind of got our talents and our creative skills, and
I just want to help anyone creative. Like, obviously I've jumped on board to get involved with Collective Sessions because there's so many great people involved with that, and when I see talent or something in people, I'm happy to work with them. So this is a shout out to anybody creative. If you're not doing anything, get involved with Collective Sessions. If not that, get involved with Drama Dramatics, get involved with something, because there is platforms out there for you guys to come and get involved with us, because we're not like these big companies that may or may not give you a dead little £2 a day apprenticeship. We'll come, we'll work with you. Hell, we'll feed you if we need to feed you. If you want to come help out on set,
like
we'll look after you. Do you know what I mean?
Don't be telling people they're going to get food, you know. Everybody like coming for food now.
Yeah, don't just come for the food. You got to have some. You got to be there for the creation as well. Don't just come for a free meal and that.
However,
you can have loads of people. Yeah, well, it's funny because I wrote a status on Facebook leaving the last show. It kind of prompted this status, but I also had a conversation with somebody a while ago about the creative class.
Yeah.
And we were saying how in society they have the low class, the middle class, the high class, the working class kind of thing. You know, there's these stereotypes of the class segregation in society. And we're saying that we obviously know personally ourselves and feel ourselves, me and this person, that there is a certain group of society that maybe don't fit in because they don't want to they don't want to do the 9 to 5 maybe.
Yeah,
they're
the wizards, man. Us weird people, us creative people, us lost souls.
But I don't think they're lost. I think they're really found and they know exactly who they are. And we kind of like came up with this creative class. Yeah. Like they're the people that want to just live being creatively and kind of, if you're not doing something which is from the curriculum education and becoming a graduate, say doctor, even if
well, that's what we are, the forgotten class, and that's what I meant by lost. Like it starts from school, doesn't it? Academically, people who are better at the academics are more likely to succeed, yet a lot of the creative people, some highly rich and highly famous people, came from being them same forgotten creative people, and it's a lot harder for us creative people in society to get through because we break the norm and we don't follow the same kind of things. And this is why we have to take it upon ourselves to come together as creative people, because trying to do it individually, society doesn't help you like that. Do you know what I mean? So we have to join forces. And when I say get involved with creative, I mean collective sessions and solo sessions and Karma Dramatics, it's not just about getting involved for our projects. We're saying get involved for your projects. Like, you might have some great ideas, bring them to us. We'll help you develop your ideas. Like, you might have thought of stuff that we hadn't even thought of, what you could be helping us, same time we could help you. So we're on board for as much creativity, as much ideas, anything you want to bring to the table. That's what we need more of.
So
help each other.
It's like a family kind of team network sort of growth thing. We're all evolving. We're all kind of wanting to give and receive. That's kind of the...
And you're always in control of your own destiny, like you said earlier.
The thing about us is as well, like, we're all open to being involved in of each of us projects. Like, it's not just like I do collective sessions where we come and like do this for my project. Like, I'm happily involved in your guys' projects. You're involved in mine. Do you know what I mean? It's just about progression rather than ownership or anything like that.
So Aidan's not on the mic, so if you can't hear, I'll just like tap him and tell him to. But yeah, we're all just kind of getting involved in this. This is what we do on a regular basis. We have these conversations. We want to get a little bit more in depth with Drama Damarni. But so you mentioned on what you want to teach with your Karma Dramatics, and that it's something that you want to kind of develop a different way of putting knowledge across.
Exactly that.
So what sort of things do you think people need to know, your viewers need to know?
Where do I start? Well, you've got to think, when we start getting into our 20s, we start thinking about all the things that we could have done differently. It's a cycle of life. We all do it, same as we all hear. You'll miss school when you leave. All these same cycles, what humanity keeps making. There's ways around it of trying to educate from a younger age. Now, the problem with the educational system, as we've just been speaking about, the creative people are often left behind. But regardless of creative people, you've got to think every single person is different, and every person takes information in differently. And more than often, it's the creative people who take in visual knowledge a lot better than getting a lecture, somebody speaking to them for an hour, or reading it from a book. Like, it's academic people who are more likely to take that knowledge in. So by doing visual education, I think you're going to break through to a lot more of society than you would just sticking to the normal formats of education. And also, it's fun. That's the biggest problem in education. It is boring as fuck. I'm sorry, but it is so boring, especially for us creative people. I mean, you've got to think people who love maths and English and they're brilliant at it. It's boring to them too. So if it's boring to them, can you imagine how heartbreaking it is for us creative people who've got to sit and listen to this boringness? Now, if we watch a video in school... Sex education, this is a big one. This is one of my favourite subjects.
What are we getting on here?
This is a favourite subject, what I think is misinformation in the teenage youth. Now, teenagers are the best people who need educating more than anyone, because they're at the pinnacle time of, look, if you listen to me now, you can save yourselves. So these are the people that I aim towards educating more. Now, when I talk about sex education, you've got to think of the 80s, 90s, 70s videos we watched in school, the stupid information, and it's not given to you in a correct way. Most of the boys laughing about it, they don't care. Most of the girls embarrassed to even talk about it. Now, watching a certain video or certain film in which it connects to the audience, its characters, what are their age, their types, talking, swearing, being how they would be in society, that's more realistic for them to connect with them characters and think, I'm just like Sally. Oh, what, Sally's gone and got pregnant. Oh, Sally's like me.
Apart from she probably won't be called Sally. She'll probably call Shaniqua.
Let's not stereotype. Sarah too.
Sarah.
But yeah, this is my point. Like, I think it's so much easier to visually connect to people, and I think that is how I can educate people. Another thing is violence in young people. Now, when you say to a young person, "Oh, don't beat up your girlfriend. Treat your boyfriend like that," it's easy to say something when you see something, it's a different sketch. Now, if you're watching a film, and on that film you've got this boy and he seems like he's doing great and he's giving all this girl this money, whatever else, but then he's mentally manipulating her and stuff like that, that's not stuff that can really get taught. You have to see that for yourself. And I think with short films like that, you can see manipulation and it's a lot easier for you to grasp what's happening. And a lot of girls, young guys too, will see something like that and think, wow, I didn't realise that was happening to me until I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's all right hearing it, you hear the stories, you read about them in the paper, whatever else, but when you see that kind of stuff, that will change you differently, and that's why I think the education will get through to them.
Wow, yeah, that it sounds.
So
amazing.
sorry for the long-winded version, but
No, you can hear your passion though, and I'm very aware because obviously we're on the mic as well. Like, you're like,
You're proper getting up in its grill, and I'm like, yo, you peak this shit, and I'm gonna kill you.
But we love that. Like, obviously, it shows how much connection you have to what you're doing, and that this is the thing. Like I'm saying about the creative class, going back to there, but when you are doing something that you love and you're passionate about, it kind of sparks a fire inside of you, which maybe a normal monotonous sort
do you know
of
why
employment
though?
wouldn't.
The reason I'm like that is because I've seen the power of film. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of influence happen, not just for myself, but I've seen, like, when you hear the word cult films, the reason cult film, it's not because it's an actual genre. Cult means it's got such a following behind it. And you've got to think, if you can make things like adulthood, when them films came out, they became a little cult. Like, they loved off them because they was the first kind of films what was showing the youth, look, we know how you talk, we know how you are. And even though it was not a great 100% realistic representation, it was the closest representation that street urban kids have had to themselves, to anything even slightly urban. So if a film like that, which is more comedy, can influence people and make people think, oh, I'm like that character, I'm like this character, then I can't see why using my films I can't do the exact same thing. But rather than creating stupid stereotypes, what often people see in films and like, oh, I want to be that bad man, I want people to watch my film and be like, yo, I want to be that good guy, I want to be that person that's viewed better in society. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about creating a cult society, but for films what are relevant, like I mentioned earlier, stuff like V for Vendetta, got a great powerful message. These are the kind of films what I think need to be showcased more.
So do you have any, like, as a person, say, interested in the way that you want to put your films across, do you have anything out there at the moment, or any projects that you're working on that like would interest people, or you want people to get involved
Yeah,
in?
I've got loads and loads of projects what I'm currently working on. Most of them are still in a script format. They're not ready to go to the screen yet. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, for one. But yeah, with every one of my projects, obviously when they get a bit more up and coming, I'll put the word out for anybody to get involved. The closest project what I'm getting ready to film is called Waiting All Night, sorry. And that's based on domestic violence in young relationships. Again, if you was going to watch a documentary about domestic violence, the first thing you think of is some big hairy dude with a wife beater, probably at a trailer park or something like that. That's the images people have.
Stereotypical.
Exactly, and I want to break that stereotype to show abuse in all its different formats, from physical, mental, emotional, all that, to also the different classes and societies of abuse. Because the reason I want to focus on young people, again, because there's a chance for them to change the behaviour. If you've been doing something for 50 years, it's very hard to change that behaviour. Whereas if you're a young person, your mind is still forming, there's a chance to get through to you and to get you to see that your behaviour is not correct. There's a better way of doing it. So with Waiting All Night, it focuses on a young girl stuck in a bad relationship, as a lot of girls are. Stuck with, I'll say, a typical roadman. He's making his money, so she's kind of happy for the money. She's happy in the relationship. And only when a good guy who she let go in the past comes back into her life, then does she start questioning where she's at and who she's with. But me and my dramatic self, I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to just do a boring kind of, oh, the guy saves the girl. So the ex-boyfriend so happens to have superpowers.
Oh, of course.
So when he comes back with his superpowers, he's now conflicted. He obviously wants to beat up the new guy, but
What
he doesn't want to kill
superpower does
him.
he have, though?
He's got a range of superpowers. Yeah, he's got an array of superpowers. But
This
put it
will
this
be
way, it's too
available.
dangerous. Put it this way, it's too dangerous. So she's also conflicted if she doesn't want this good guy to come and basically get himself in trouble beating up the boyfriend. So she's conflicted of, what do I do? Do I escape this horrible relationship and get back with the good guy, or what do I do? So it's a big dilemma, but it touches on, like I said, a very serious issue. And I want more people to get involved with that, because I want to use that to help promote domestic violence charities. The reason I chose this as my first piece, I don't want to just take a dramatic turn, but unfortunate for me, in 2004, my mum died as a result of a domestic violence relationship. So this is why it's close to my heart to try to change this behaviour in men and women at a younger age, because too often people who have domestic violence issues, it's not just an anger management thing. It's obviously deep-rooted issues, and I think these issues need tackling long before it gets to the stage of them even physically harming people. So, yeah, Waiting All Night is one of my most passionate pieces, and that's going to be the most ready piece, which will probably be first thing that I release. That'll be my debut film. So, as soon as that's up and running, I'll let everybody know.
So, I was going to take a little break there because
sorry.
obviously you touched on something really, really powerful and really, really emotional and, really deep that's happened in your life. But I thought, no, we'll keep going on because it just kind of shows exactly how strong and powerful you are to just be sat here today. And I want to ask you, what kind of keeps you going? What kind of is your inspiration, is your strength? Going through something so, heartbreaking, so traumatic, what keeps you going, Drama?
It's that same creativeness, it's that passion. I think as well, for example, the only way to explain it is if you had the power to predict the future and you had the chance to tell everyone, here's what's going to happen, stop orders, and you had the chance to help somebody, save them from making them same mistakes, that is what keeps me going, knowing that I have that knowledge to be able to go to somebody before they've got to that stage and help them and save them before they have to feel any kind of heartache. I mean, life's full of heartache anyway. You can't prevent heartache, you can't prevent grief, you can't prevent a number of things, but there is still things you can prevent. There's your behaviour, there's things on your side. You can steer your direction as much as possible. It's good to say, yes, keep planning, but it's also good to say leave stuff to fate. But you can't just do one without the other. You need to have a good, healthy balance. And I think having the power, and I feel I've got the power to predict certain things, using what I've already been through and the common sense of predicting what could happen, I think I've got a good vast knowledge of life, and I think I can help a lot of people, and me knowing I can help other people is what keeps me going, because it's not for myself, it's to know that I can save at least one person and make a difference on one person's life if they just thought a little bit differently. And like, as you know, after looking after my brother for a number of years, that's taught me to see teenagers in a different light, because obviously I only see teenagers as a more peer thing until I had to look after one. Things changed, and I seen actually teenagers don't have it easy. Like, they're very easily drawn and dragged in these directions without the proper knowledge. They're just not given knowledge, and like I said, it goes back to, I don't want to keep cussing the school educational system, but it does go back to the school educational system. But before even that, it goes back to being at home. And if I can educate people way before they even get to school, throughout school, into the teenage years, there's a chance of saving people and making their life that little bit better. I hadn't had a great life, so if anybody could have come and made my life a little bit greater, I would have happily been like, yeah, thanks for your help, like, give me more. So I'm just trying to do the same thing, give people what I didn't have in it.
But here at this stage, okay, just on the last segment there, you said you didn't have a great life. But looking at you right now today, and obviously I've seen your journey as well, I'd say that right now, where you are and what you're doing is really great.
Yeah.
Even personally, the goals that you're achieving.
I think it's everything's happened for a reason. I think the hardship I have lived in my life is been for this reason, so that I can educate other people. I know that I've had to endure stuff in life, and it's for this reason. I ain't just endured it just to endure it and died. I would not be happy with that. So if I've endured all this for something, I'm not, please don't, I'm going to sound so crazy, I am not in any way or shape or form comparing myself to Nelson Mandela, right? But I'm trying to make a point of people like Nelson Mandela. They suffered that. He didn't suffer 20 how many years in that jail to come out and be like, oh yes, no, he suffered all that for a reason. Now, my reason may not be nowhere near as great as his. I'm not bothered if it's only in Huddersfield. But my point is, it's still a reason, and I'm going to roll with that reason. I'm not going to stop until I've kind of showcased that to death. So
One thing that I think is really great about you is, like, you have the ability to get into other people's perspective, which I kind of lack that, to be honest. But like,
I think it's bouncing around so many different places and people, and obviously my gender decisions has forced me to be able to know a lot. Like I do see a lot of the female side to the male side, to the growing up in Dalton, which is an urban area, to living in Honley, which is a predominantly white area, to living in Flockton, which is a triple predominantly white area. I've lived in that many different areas with different kind of people, and I don't know, I feel like I've lived a Forrest Gump lifestyle. I've had so many different types of lives, different types of friends, different types of environment, different types of everything, so I feel like I've got a good rounded experience of life, like I said before. So I think that's why I'm able to jump into other people's shoes very easily and see their perspective as well as see my own.
So with that experience and that kind of wide knowledge of people and places, can you give us a little bit of your insight into humanity, and just say, maybe not even into too much depth, but just say like what you think about this society, what you think about humanity in general and people, because I know humanity is kind of getting a lot of bad press, and we talk about it as a group of like all the negative things that are in the media and things like that, but you know, like you said, you know, people from a lot of different places. Yeah. And I'm sure you've experienced the negative and the positive from these places.
Definitely.
So can you give us a little bit of your insight into what you just think generally about humanity and people and places?
Do you know what? Overall, like up until maybe a couple of years ago, I would have had nothing but more cons towards humanity, because I've seen, like I said, a lot of the nasty side of people. Not even just individuals' actions, I'm talking groups, companies, big powerhouses, big groups and nations and countries of people, as like in a negative light. But I think in the last few years, as I've grown up a lot more, I think there's a hell of a lot more good in this world than there is bad. A hell of a lot more. But the problem is, it's overshadowed by the bad because of how we're kind of pushed into this box. Like I said, society is pushed into a box where we're told constantly, you're allowed free speech, you're free. But we're not free, and this is, I think, the problem. We're an enslaved humanity, to be honest. And the problem is, you've got so many people like us who could make such a difference in this world. I mean, we're making a difference in Huddersfield over the space of a year. I mean, like, I know for a fact if we was given a bigger platform, I'm not even talking about finances or world stages, I'm just talking in general of having a mass of people, half of the UK supporting something, I think you'd have world change. There is people who could create world change, and they are not given that opportunity, and this is a problem. It's the exact same as having the wrong people in the wrong jobs. I mean, not go into the longness of the police brutality and stuff in America, but for example, there's millions of amazing police officers. I know I'm not a fan of some of the policing practices. If I was a police officer, I would be the goddamn best police officer there is. If I was a baker, I would be the best baker there is. That's me as a human, me individual. I know I would make the best of whatever job I'm in. But then you've got people who are born to do one thing. Certain people was born to be police officers. They're the people that from day dot in school, they need to be pushed into that sector. Same as if you was meant to be a baker from school, push him into that sector. You don't want a baker being a police officer because he's pissed off now. He's got to be a police officer. He don't want to be a police officer. He's got to do it to survive. And this is a problem with humanity. We're all doing stuff to survive, and we're not doing what our heart tells us, what our brain tells us, and what our consciousness tells us. We're having to do what we're not really wanting to survive. And then that is destroying us as individuals. Like, we're actually destroyed. Because when I worked any normal job I've ever done that's not a creative job, I have felt soul destroyed. Soul destroyed to the point of, why am I living? I question who I am. Like, I'll stare in the mirror and think, who am I? Who am I? What am I doing? Well, I can't fathom it. Whereas I have not got paid when I worked with Garrison doing A to B, Avenue to Broadway, doing teaching street dance, teaching, acting, I was doing that for free, and I was happily doing that for free because I was alive. I was doing something what was relevant, and I knew that I wasn't going to be mad at somebody. Whereas when I worked at the bar, I probably shortchanged you. You probably got a dead drink because I did not want to do that in life. Yes. So I think the advice I give to anyone, any humanity, if you want to be a good person, you want to stay a good person, do what makes you happy. Don't chase the money, chase a passion, do what makes you happy, because you know what? You might be the nicest person, you might think that you're a great person, you do so much for other people, but you know what? Society will kill you off if you end up in that 9-to-5 job and you're not doing what you want to do 10 years, not even that, the way society is moving fast, 5 years from now, yeah, you will be soul destroyed, and you'll just be looking at other kids doing your dream, and you'll be devastated, and you will become a problem in humanity. You will be that nasty negative person who's angry at everyone else, who wants to pull everyone else down just because you didn't have your dream. And that's the problem with all the society now. A lot of the older generation, they got roped into it. They got tricked into go get a job, go uni, go do this. They got tricked into that, and they're pissed off at the younger people now. All those young people who want to no, I want to be a rapper. No, they're like, what are you? You want to be a rapper? Don't be stupid. Go get down. Go get to mill. Go work. They don't understand that mentality.
You fucking cock.
They do not understand that mentality of us creative people. They don't understand this is a movement. Us creative people are awake now. There's something we can do about it. We don't have to settle for 95. We don't have to settle for this this structure that we're forced to in school. Forget about that structure. Do your own thing. Meet up with as many creative, good, like-minded people. If someone's negative, find someone positive.
Well, I definitely think how you're touching on the creativity kind of thing, and we've touched on that a lot in these conversations today. If you are not doing something like what you said, what
even
makes
if it's
you
a
happy,
passion, a side passion, hobby. I mean, I know people have got bills to pay, so I'm not saying go quit your job, go live in a tree and be a singer, hippie. I mean, if you can do that and you can maintain life and you can still eat, then you do that. But realistically, you got to play the game smart. I mean, if you if you really want serious about it, do it smartly. Have a part-time job, have your income, just so that you can fund your dream. Because at the end of the day, you still need to fund your dream, way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
It's not going to get handed to you. So still play it smartly. Don't just think that you can put your all into being a famous rapper and forget that you still got bills to pay. You've still got to survive some way, shape, or form. So there is things that you are going to have to do to get to where you want to be. But I'm just saying, know your own limit. Don't sell yourself short. Make time for your passion.
Obviously, the society that we're born into is got, like you said, a structure.
Yeah.
But if you think way back into the beginning of time, this structure didn't exist. So people would use their creativity, like the architect, maybe the person in the village who was a great woodbender would make the huts, and the person in the village that was a great hunter would go hunting. And it was people based on their individual talents and their natural talents.
And that's why everything was done to the best of his ability. Look at the original structures, what we have around
Like
the world, from
pyramids.
people, exactly.
Yeah.
And these were people who wanted to build. They wanted to do that. They wasn't forced to do it.
Well,
they
I
wasn't...
don't know about pyramids.
All right. Okay, let's not bring it to the slave labor. I think aliens built the pyramids. If we're going to go there anyway.
Yeah, let's not even go there, because I definitely don't believe the scriptures, what they've wrote in schools about how the pyramids were built.
Yeah.
Nah, because even like Egypt itself didn't exist. It was Africa,
apart from
so let's not
obviously
even go there.
forced slave labor, majority of the people was in jobs what kind of suited their natural abilities. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I just
definitely.
think like it's all about making things work for you rather than working for things.
Yeah, definitely going with the flow kind of thing.
Don't make life better for just yourself, and it make life better for everyone. And that's the whole point of, I think, creative people. I think that's how they think anyway. I don't know if it's just me, but by being creative, it's like I don't achieve anything by painting a nice painting. But if I know that painting made someone's day happy, or for some reason influence them in any kind of way, then I think that's why the creativeness matters so much, because it's a power of influence. And I think we've got a lot of power of influence.
Well, any form of...
Everyone in this room has got a project that's bigger than themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Do you want to say that into the mic?
No, you can hear it. It's fine.
Can you hear it, yeah?
And if not, I'll turn it up really loud, make it sound really distorted and shit, but it'll still be there.
But
We'll overdub it later.
Steve, stop talking like that.
But yeah, oh gosh, I've lost my place now laughing at you lot. But oh my god, where am I?
I don't know.
Where am I? Who am
We was
I?
talking about the pyramids, and then we went on to making stuff work for you, and then creative people doing things for other people rather than just themselves.
Yeah, and then you said what we're doing, our projects are bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
But this just goes to show the reality of our project, that, you know, and the people in the room aren't robots. You know, we're not here trying to sell you a dream or anything.
Buy it. Buy it now.
I think Stephen might be a robot.
No.
Oh, I am a robot, don't worry about that.
Definitely. He's got some metal. Spill a drink on him. Put it water on him. But yeah, you kind of touched upon a lot of the stuff that I was going to ask you anyway, like quote of the day. I think everything that you're saying is really inspiring anyway, and we don't need to like forcefully dragged certain things out of you.
My last thing for the day is creative education, entertaining education, because it's what I want to do. It's not just about me and my films. I want to spread the message to other people like yourselves. Obviously, you guys are already on there, but about the message that you have. We've got all these celebrities, and some of them use it for a good cause. Some of them do promote the right things. Then obviously, you've got those who just promote what they need to promote. Now, I think it's our responsibility as creative artists to think about the content that we're putting out there and try to. We know we can talk about anything, we can rap about anything, we can make films about anything, but like let's have a bit more common sense. Let's like really try to do something more. And this is why I say with my films, like I absolutely love every kind of genre film. I love everything, every kind of film. I love it. So it's not like I'm sat here saying, it's just about education and stuff. I'm just like, that's common sense. Like, that's what's going to make most different. I could go make a sick horror film tomorrow, and I know it'd be a great watch. Everyone would be scared to death. They'd enjoy it. But as much as I've enjoyed that, what's that helped? What purpose does that serve humanity? And I think that's what we need to use our creativeness to serve humanity. And that's what I want my films to be, a service to humanity. It's not just about me, like you said. It's about finding a way. So you singers out there, rappers, think about your lyrical content. Think about some of the things you're saying, and could you be saying it better? Could you be saying it even positive a message? Like, there's groups of people that you could be helping out there, and you're kind of maybe not thinking about that. You're just thinking about your journey and your struggle. And obviously a lot of passion is going to come from your journey and your struggle, but try to translate that so that other people can learn from it. And I think I just think a lot of people can know that you could be educating people too with your lyrics and your artwork and whatever it is you're putting out there. Just have the common sense to think about what you're putting into humanity, and is it beneficial to humanity?
I've just remembered what I was gonna say before I got kind of like thrown off. I was gonna say this is something that I've like over the past couple of months got little bits from things that I've been listening to, but art and creativity in any form is obviously people's interpretation or expression on their own experience. So based on what experiences you have throughout your journey, is going to develop into the creativity that you put across. So like you were saying, what you've experienced in your past, the things like with the domestic violence, that's going to be at the forefront of your creativity to a certain degree. Definitely. And a lot of the people out there that are doing their art or their form of expression, it might not be a positive message or a useful message.
No, I think there's a difference
like
in it when you're mirroring.
Balance,
That's it, exactly, balance, because
you've got to have the crap TV and the kind of like educational TV.
I fully get that, because I think the number one people in that bracket that we talk about realistically is the urban community, because they've got it the hardest. They've got the most grittiest, let's say, taboo things that they are going to want to talk about and rap about and stuff, because they've got it the worst in society. So there is, like I said, it's a balance, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be entitled to tell your journey. If your journey's been a horrible journey, tell it, but back that up. Back that up with something positive. Back that up with something of a way out.
And what you've learned.
You've learned from it. Don't not spread your message, but make sure that your message has got a whole rounded thing. You don't just want to put your negative out in your life and just leave people with that eerie feeling of, life's terrible.
Because that's what we were saying about collective sessions basically as a whole. Obviously, I'm like the love angel. I go around collective sessions like, I love you, come in, everybody, it's so
That's
open and welcome. No. I have 2 glasses, 2, 3 of wines. Yeah, I'm usually pissed. No, really, this is just me on a general day-to-day. Like, I am the love mum, I'll get it from kind of like our mum as well. Mine and Aiden's mum. Obviously, it's because people can't see who's in the room and when I'm pointing to him. But obviously, we have this open and welcoming, respectful, loving, positive vibe to do with collective sessions, but at the same time, we want truth. We want reality. We want to educate, even with like Drama Damarni.
Well, this is it. My films are not going to be peachy. I tell you that. You're going to see a lot of hurt, horror, grief, pain, death.
Man's gonna
You are
get
going to
stabbed.
get everything. That's the whole point of why I've called it Drama Dramatics. It's dramatic as hell. It's real dramatic stuff. It's not just all fairy tale stuff. It's done in a dramatic way. So you're going to see the realness of it. 100%.
But then also there's going to be like the educational message.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you're probably going to be going out of the cinema or like the studio.
No, you won't be
traumatised.
traumatised. You'll feel good.
but I've learned something, but it was so fucking scary.
Some films, yeah, you will need to maybe talk to a counsellor after. I'm not like, I'm only joking.
This is disclaimer for Karma
We
Dramatics.
also have a counselling service.
Yeah.
No, but to
Free
be fair,
counselling service.
that's what I will probably have on the end of my films, like the Waiting All Night piece. There will be information at the end of it, just like Hollyoaks do. Like if you are disturbed by something or if you're
Yeah.
affected,
Where to
Yo,
go
do speak to
for
these
the
people.
supportive. Yeah.
yeah. So I won't just leave you like Game of Thrones does, leave you just traumatized, rocking in your chair, like wanting to write letters to
that
people.
happily
You
leads
mean
me
because
on to...
they've killed off half the main characters in the first 3 episodes?
It happily leads me on to the next question.
Still
which
emotionally
is,
distressed.
which is, what are you watching? I know you're watching Game of Thrones right now because obviously you're my bestie. But what are you watching, or what would you invite people to watch out for, film-wise at this moment in time, or series-wise?
I'm glad you
Finding
said this
Dory.
moment in
Usually,
time.
I do ask people, obviously musicians,
music,
what
yeah.
are they doing? But as you're into film, what are you looking?
I'm glad you
at
said present because
watching?
if you was talking on a whole spectrum,
Oh,
this would be a whole different podcast. This would be a long one. At the moment, without a doubt, for one, before I go into what I'm watching at the moment, I normally watch whatever I'm writing about for influence. For example, if I'm writing a piece about wizards and witches and all
Harry
that fantasy
Potter.
stuff, I'd watch everything to do with that. I'd watch Harry Potter, I'd watch Lord of the Rings, I'd watch everything in that genre. So at the moment, I've been working on, it's probably my favourite piece I've ever written. It's not even particularly on one subject, like all my other pieces are domestic violence, bullying, whatever else. This is, it's got a mix of every kind of emotion. It's like a love story, but actioned and amped up with my dramaticness. And on that, because it's like a very dramatic love story, I've took influence from watching, obviously, Leonardo DiCaprio's Romeo and Juliet, Great Gatsby, epic love stories in every kind of genre, even to Fast and Furious, Dom and Letty's kind of journey. So whatever I'm working on, I will try to watch everything in that genre to inspire me, but also to stop me from stealing other people's ideas subconsciously. Same as when you guys are probably writing songs and you think of a sick
That
lyric,
was weird.
and then you remember that lyric
Yeah.
already exists.
No, that got talked about last week.
Yeah.
This is my point, so that's why I try to watch that. Now, at the moment, obviously, Game of Thrones, I was actually bullied into watching it. But lucky but unlucky for me, I just got out of hospital and I had a whole lot of spare time, so I just banged out all 5 seasons, and it's probably the best TV series I've ever watched in my life. It's brilliant. Game of Thrones, just to anyone, there's no point going long in depth for it.
No,
Obviously, you've heard it all over the papers, you've heard it all over the TV. It is absolutely amazing. The writing, the directing, the acting, absolutely everything to do with Game of Thrones is done to the most exquisite standards.
See, the first episode I watched of that just turned into one long-winded porno with someone dying. So that's pretty much all I've got from it
It's
so
like all
far.
you say in the corner is cock, bad, like explicit stuff.
Are you sexually frustrated over there, Steve?
No, I'm just the explicit one in this thing.
Listen,
No,
we're
that's
gonna have to
true.
mute him. We're gonna have to like put a.
No, but that's why I love Game of Thrones, because it is very gritty and very real, but yet some way, shape or form they've managed to, in all this gritty realness and murder and death, and real subjects, have managed to just throw dragons and magic in there, and it's like, how have you managed to do that on such a serious level?
Yeah.
And that's why it's brilliant. So Game of Thrones for TV series. Other series is what I recommend to people, what obviously typical ones you've heard of. Breaking Bad, but I think it depends on the individual. So for me to be more on point, I would rather people to actually go out of your way to add me on Facebook and individually inbox me and tell me what kind of things you're into, and I will give you a specific thing to go watch, because I think different people...
Aren't you doing a movie review soon then?
Yeah, I'm going to be starting a blog.
Because,
That's what I'm going to say. I will be starting like a movie review and blog soon, in which I'll be talking about series, films, blogs, trivia, upcoming films, people who are going to get cast and stuff, just everything you can think of to do with the entertainment industry. And I will give specific guides, because people constantly put it on Facebook, what should I watch tonight, or what's a good comedy, and it just does my head in. I think, right, if I've got a place where people can come, give them 2 pieces of info, and I will have anything you want to watch ready to watch.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
What I've been watching, because I'm about to start university doing film, I've gone back to my old Hollywood classics. So I've struggled watching black and white films my whole life, but I've learnt myself like it's very important to see the history of film. So at the moment, every night for the last God knows how many months, I've just been watching all the old classics from like from the 20s up to like 40s, 50s. So at the moment, I'm on my James Dean, Marilyn Monroe,
Wow.
them kind of
I love
Humphrey
black
Bogart.
I love black and white
Nothing
films.
beats Casablanca. everybody, a lot of people struggle with black and white films. Casablanca is the one film I tell everybody to watch. It's just epic.
I love black and white films. Like, it reminds me of childhood, you know, any of them Little House on the Prairie kind of sort of stuff.
I'd love to see a modern black and white film because it's the graphics.
Sin City, man.
Yeah.
Sin City, that's the
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But, like, it's just the
Let's not give him
graphics
any.
Yeah,
more
watch any
information
any Tarantino or any Rodriguez film. They're my main influences for my type of filmmaking, the dramatic and craziness and the twists and plots. Them two are the biggest influences, so I recommend anyone to watch anything by them. Kill Bill 1 and 2, probably best films ever made.
And with regards to like documentaries and stuff like that, I mean, like Lucy is a massive film.
Brilliant
Us
film.
lot watched together at the cinema.
Films like that, if you're caring about things like the higher, awakening and consciousness and crystals, and a lot of people are starting to wake up to this. I'm hearing about a lot of people have crystals and all this. Films based on that stuff, Transcendent, Johnny Depp, absolutely epic film. Chappie, another brilliant film. Lucy, them 3 films will change your whole perspective on life.
Yeah.
All to do with that kind of stuff, so yeah.
Even the Venus Project, like that as a documentary, like
that's mind-blowing.
Boom, boom.
If you're not happy are you not happy with your current state of living? Are you not happy with the government? The Venus Project is for you. YouTube it will change everything you're thinking of. YouTube, Venus Project. One guy spent his whole life coming up with solutions to life's problems. Everything we've talked about today, everything you'll probably ever hear us talk about, anything to do with government, money, corruption, life. This guy has got the answers. What's his Summit Fresco? I can't remember his full name.
He's a humanitarian.
Yeah, brilliant guy.
Inventor.
But the Venus Project, just look into it. That's all you need to know. Watch
yeah.
everything to do with it, and you'll want to move to San Fran.
Yeah. You okay?
You don't understand what I'm saying, do you?
No.
I'm just letting you know how long we've been going for. About 45 minutes now.
Yeah, brilliant.
Sweet.
Well, I think that's a brilliant place to end it on. I think we've had a really nice show. You know, I love speaking.
You can talk all day.
Yeah, we can talk all day, especially
is
Drama.
me.
He gets.
I will go
really-
for live.
We do talk about it.
This is why I've got to translate it into film, because I've just got too much to say. You guys don't get it. It's just too much.
So yeah,
Too
thank
much
you
going on.
very
Need to do
much
it.
to everyone in the room. Say hey.
Hey.
Hey. Thank you, Drama Damarni. And we'll be looking out for your stuff, film-wise.
Karma Dramatics.
Yeah.
Coming
And
soon.
thank you to everybody who's listening. It's been Soul Sessions with Sarah LaSoul. We love you. Until next time.
So.
Sessions.
Sessions.
Sessions.